Hey, my friends, welcome back to AttractPassion. To anyone who's watching this today, know that you are making an incredible progress. Know that you are actually breaking through on maybe micro level, and therefore it doesn't feel like you are making any breakthroughs, but actually, well, it is happening. And it's only a matter of time when bigger things start showing up. And I felt guided today to share this message with you, just to remind you that that's where actually the big things start shifting in very small or short or quick events, like making a different choice, catching yourself before you react, and just switching from fear to wisdom, and recognizing that before you start overthinking something, you create a shift in your mindset. Those are the moments that not many people talk about, and no one celebrates you for it, but they're rewriting your story. So if you've been doubting your progress, my friend, this message is for you. The first theme for today that I want to remind you is that there's power in not overthinking. You know, the moment when you didn't spiral into doubt. How many times you've noticed recently that you could spiral into overthinking or doubt or worry, but you catch yourself. You didn't reply a conversation 100 times in your head. You knew that what you said was enough, or what you've done was enough. So this is not something random, my friend. This is a sign of incredible growth. You made a decision. It was clean, clear, and you trusted yourself. So you see, many times we think that progress should be huge, like there must be a big win outside of us. We must, I don't know, change a job immediately, or just find ourselves in a next huge thing. But actually those tiny changes that happen here and there when we truly treat ourselves or a certain event with a greater wisdom is what begins these bigger breakthroughs. And in a world that rewards overanalyzing and over maybe criticizing and gossiping, this clarity of yours that you're cultivating is a quiet revolution. It means your mind is starting to work with you, not against you. I want to give you an easy, very simple action plan for today. When you notice yourself overthinking, pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what's the next small, clear step I can take? Then take it without second guessing, and you will notice that it's much easier than it feels. Our mind usually likes to think about the big steps we need to take, and then it becomes overwhelming. But if you notice, it starts with very small steps. We make them out of clarity. We move through, and suddenly we find ourselves on the other side of where we used to be. The second theme I wanted to talk to you today is making aligned choices. I know you've heard that before, but it's important to talk about this because sometimes we don't know exactly what it means. So every time you choose something that feels aligned, even if it's inconvenient, you're rewriting your story. You're actually changing your brain, its neuroplasticity, and your body responds to it with a sense of maybe being proud of yourself or just being happy for what you've done. That's what happened when you said no to something that didn't feel right, or when you took the uncomfortable path because it matched your values. Obviously, it's not something flashy, but it's powerful because it changed you. And I want to give you another action plan for this today, to choose one decision that aligns with who you are becoming, not who you've been. There's a powerful lesson in recognizing that you don't think the same way you did 1 month ago, and you don't have the same values that you have or you had 1 month ago. I'm noticing in my life my values are constantly upgrading, and therefore we need to recognize that our actions reflect that. So sometimes we notice that we don't value certain materialistic things so much as we did in the past, but with our actions we're still repeating things from the past, and then we ask ourselves why we feel like we would not be in alignment anymore. Well, if you value more peace, then suddenly you don't spend so much time in maybe crowded places anymore. You rather go into nature or something like that. You just notice this is aligned action. Or you feel called to change a career or to move to a new place, and physically you know you're not there yet, and once again you may feel out of alignment. You need to understand that bigger shifts also require more clarity and usually more time, so you can become very clear on what will be that next move. And as long as you're not clear, don't make any big moves, but just be patient with yourself and notice that your soul will give you insights when you allow yourself to settle and to maybe just move with a bit slower pace, because you know you're in some kind of a transition, kind of a void between one reality and another. And sometimes these big shifts that are like life-changing shifts take more time, like maybe 1 or 2 years. So be patient with yourself. And maybe say yes today to what fuels you. Notice what fuels you and say no to what drains you. Just to gain some awareness around these things, because it may help you to understand what is really your thing or what is aligned with you at this moment and what's not aligned with you here on this stage of your current evolution. The third theme I wanted to talk to you today is standing by yourself in silence, which is another big thing, because if we look this society right now, everyone is praising the celebration on stage, or, you know, when celebrities win certain big rewards, and everybody wants to experience something like that. But not many people talk about how much work they've done in quietness so they've accomplished these things, and how many people are doing incredible amount of work and investing incredible amount of time in quietness behind the walls, working on something that one day is celebrated by the world. And that's what it means to stand by yourself in silence. Think back to the last time you showed up for yourself, even though no one saw it. Maybe you went for a walk instead of doom scrolling. How many of you have accomplished that? Maybe you said, "I've got this," when no one else was around to reassure you. Maybe in the gym you pushed the extra rep when no one saw it, but you were like, yeah, I got this. Or maybe you've been pushing through something very fearful, or maybe you've been changing a job and no one was there to really support you, and you were like, yeah, I got this. Or maybe you've started a big project that you're on your own, like you're building something out of nothing, and no one is there truly seeing you, what you're doing, and you're like, yeah, I got this. So this is what no one will celebrate until it becomes something big, and then people will say to you, oh, you're so intelligent, or you're so talented. But actually, this is the quiet work that makes it happen, right? So if you're in this stage of your life right now, be your own mentor, be your own support, be your own, praise yourself, not out of ego, but imagine tapping into your higher self and looking down on you and having this loving attitude towards you, like, oh, I'm so proud of you, I'm so happy for you, that you're not giving in to your ego, you're actually overcoming yourself. Keep overcoming yourself until you become more true self, right? So this is what we call self-leadership. That's what is truly building your internal trust. More frequently you do what you say to yourself that you will do, more you start trusting yourself. And here's where the self-trust truly comes from. So find a quiet moment today and do something that honors your journey just for you. Something that honors your journey. Whatever it is, it doesn't need to be a big thing. Maybe it's just something very simple, like going into the nature and maybe just sitting down and for 3 minutes just feeling nature. It can be something very simple, or going alone into a coffee or a tea or something like that if that's unfamiliar to you. Honor yourself. Take a simple but quiet time for yourself, or go into the gym. Let's say you haven't done something like that for a long time. Go into the gym because you maybe know it would be healthy for you, or something completely new that would be a symbol of honoring yourself, whatever it is, and see how it makes you feel. You see, you don't need an audience to make it meaningful, just to know that. The fourth theme I wanted to talk to today is that there is a subtle progress, and I want to remind you to notice it. Because many times when I talk with people who are on this evolutionary journey, they think that this progress should happen faster, or they think big things should already happen because they've been doing so much of work. But what if the universe is reminding you at this point to notice these subtle changes? Because it will help you to cultivate more gratitude, to cultivate more presence. Because maybe life is not about big wins, but being more present and being more at peace with yourself. And because you're learning to cultivate gratitude and peace, big things start shifting as well, because you don't care so much about them. Have you noticed this interesting pattern in your life? The things that you don't care so much about happen very fast, they manifest very fast. But the things you really care a lot, it takes like a long time to manifest, because you made them more important. You see, less you make something important, faster it happens, because there's less resistance. And resistance is only teaching you that you're not separated from anything. You're always connected with everything. And when you feel connection, you know it's already a part of you. And when you're not forcing it to happen, it happens when your energy aligns with that reality. So don't force anything. I know it's easy to say that, but I'm just reminding you, focus on subtle progress that is happening. And how does it look? Well, it looks simple as maybe choosing to drink water over something else and noticing, oh, in the past, out of a habit, I would drink something sugary or whatever was your habit. And now you just, out of maybe self-discipline or out of awareness that you know this is healthier for you, you choose water. Just one example. Or maybe going to bed earlier. Or maybe saying, I'm proud of myself before you fall to sleep. And you notice, oh, those are the things I were not doing before, and it makes me feel more at peace with myself, and it improves my mental health. And once again, as I said at the beginning, it's something no one will celebrate you for until big shifts will happen, and then people will ask you how you've done it. Well, through subtle changes, right? So these micro wins are actually macro signs. They prove that you're changing from the inside out. And today, I want to remind you to reflect. What's one quiet win you had this week? Maybe write it down and just notice what made you do it, and celebrate it in a way that reinforces that habit maybe a smile, a song, or maybe just a small treat that will remind you, kinda, it's okay to reward yourself for positive changes that you've done. You see, we like rewards, and rewards remind us that we've done something great. And if you reward yourself for positive changes, then you will feel inspired and motivated to keep making more of them until your life will naturally become more positive. So it's not running away from negativity or any of that, it's just slowly transmuting negativity into positivity. Like every time you notice there's a bad habit and you could change it, you don't need to change all of your habits immediately. But if you start one at a time, and after 1 month, go to the next one, and you see how much better you feel, then you will notice, it's much easier than changing all the habits at once, and then when you lose it, you lose them all, right? Just a reminder that small and slow progress is sometimes more powerful than fast one. And the last thing I wanted to touch today is that your consistency actually creates momentum. And I know you've heard that before as well, but so many times we forget about it, especially when we're working on something that is truly improving our lives. So the truth is that consistency doesn't always feel exciting. Yeah, sometimes it feels painful, sometimes it feels challenging, sometimes we're pushing ourselves where our body is saying, hey, stop doing that. But you're doing it because you're overcoming the old program of your old personality, and you're starting something that was before unfamiliar to you. So obviously it doesn't feel pleasant. It feels ordinary. These old things feel ordinary, repetitive, and that's what we're overcoming. So consistency says that it doesn't need to feel right, it doesn't need to feel pleasant. If it feels healthy, then keep doing it. If it feels that it is leveling up your life, keep doing it. If it feels that it is improving your frequency, raising your frequency into more maybe joy for life, or love for life, or just more pace, keep doing it. And also know it's okay to take pauses sometimes and to just reflect, like, how are you doing? Or if you fall off this track, don't be too hard on yourself. Notice that it's actually natural. Like, we don't master one thing at one time. We need to keep doing it and keep falling off and returning to it. And noticing what's the self-talk when we fall off, because that's what we're healing, right? We don't need healing at times when we're okay with ourselves. We need healing at times when we're not okay with ourselves, to change this inner dialogue, to change the self-critic into a self-mentor that can have a respect to yourself. Like, yeah, it happened again. Okay, what triggered it? And what went maybe wrong, where you've lost yourself, or whatever it was. And you just, through self-respect, you return back onto that good track. And you learn from your triggers to be more aware of them, to maybe even expect when the next time this kind of a trigger will happen, you will be prepared. Okay, maybe I will experience temptation when this trigger happens, so I will be even more aware to not fall into this old pattern. That's when you become conscious of your unconscious self, and that's where the rewiring truly happens. So I want to remind you today to choose one thing to stay consistent with today. I know I gave you many action plans today, but see which one will resonate with you, or maybe all of them. They're all quite simple, one thing at a time. But choose one thing you will stay consistent with today, or maybe even for the whole month of June, you are choosing to stay consistent with this thing. So what I've decided in this month of June is also what I've mentioned in the video where I talked about the energy for the month of June, that is very healing energy that is present. So something I'm doing in this month is I'm doing a lot of breathing practices. So I've been meditating before. I'm meditating for many years, daily, every single morning and sometimes before I go to sleep. But breathing practices, it's something I was not doing so consistently, and this month I set a challenge to myself that I will be doing this box breathing, which is you breathe in for the same amount, then you stay at the top for the same amount of seconds, and then you breathe out for the same amount of seconds, and then you hold at the bottom for the same amount of seconds. Doesn't matter, usually people choose 4 seconds. I choose 6 seconds because it calms me down even more. And that's what I'm doing every single day, sometimes for 10 minutes, sometimes for 30 minutes, and I'm just experimenting how it makes me feel. I've noticed that my nervous system truly calms down, truly relaxes, and sometimes I'm just releasing something, especially if I do it for 30 minutes. I notice that I'm just releasing something, and it's very powerful and helpful. So this is my challenge for the month of June. I'm staying consistent to. So notice if you could give a challenge to yourself. This is again a symbol of respect towards you, like doing something that makes you love yourself even more. It doesn't need to be a big challenge, maybe just staying away from a certain food or staying away from a certain belief, like catching yourself when that belief turns on and you reframe it or you just let it go. Whatever it is for you. So choose one thing that you will stay consistent with today or from today on, and keep the promise to yourself that you will keep up with it. Maybe set even a time, like if it's just today or if it's until the end of this June. Maybe even write it in the comment section and hold yourself accountable by sharing it with others. Maybe you will inspire someone to do something similar as well. Share your challenges here because, well, many people need some inspiration, and maybe you can be the one that will inspire someone today. So, my friend, don't overlook these quiet wins that we've talked today about. They aren't small, they are foundational. And every clear decision, every grounded choice, every moment of self-trust is what adds up to bigger wins that happen later or eventually. You're not just hoping for change anymore, you're living it. And if today's video reminded you of your own strength, well, give it a like, drop a comment of what resonated with you the most or what you're working on, and subscribe for more daily reminders. I'm doing daily reminders and I'm putting together them with my art, so I hope you've also enjoyed in today's painting. And if you would like to put this kind of a painting onto a wall somewhere close to you so you can be reminded of these messages, go onto AttractPassion.com or find the link under this video, tap on it and see which painting will resonate with you. I'm painting like symbols that can remind us of what truly matters and can activate something inside of you that, will feel like you're already winning, and to stay focused on this energy that makes you thrive in your life because you deserve it. And by buying my art, you're also supporting this mission, so thank you so much. Also join us on our Patreon community for more exclusive content and more precise or shorter lessons, guided meditations, and so much more. So see you there as well. The link is in the description of this video. And till next time, one love.